Well, good morning to everybody that's not watching. Anyway, so yeah, we're on order to 10. Bit of a late start. See, we're just respecting this breaker block. I've literally just sat at the desk, so I've not even looked at the charts. Part of me feels that I would have entered here because we've got this breaker block about 10 past 8. So it's actually time that I would have started normally, and I would have been sitting and waiting, and I would have been triggered in right now. The only reason I didn't jump in straight away is the orange candle just before it, so this one here, actually created a change of character alert. So I was a bit apprehensive to enter straight away, but I feel like where we from yesterday had such a big run up, come back and we tapped this breaker, left some liquidity, got some bullish strength that we simmered out overnight. I'm not 100% confident that this respecting this breaker block is actually going to go and drive north still. It may well do, but given that we've got this change of character, it could just come up to push into this change of character, then drive down to collect this liquidity back on this breaker block here. So I'm uncertain. And checking onto the 1 minute, we've actually got, well, one in the same place on the 1 minute time frame. Well, the 5 minute one's just below it, the 1 minute one's just above it, but we've also got a breaker here on this 1 minute. So there is confliction of decision within this area of price at the current moment. So I'm not too keen on entering. I mean, looking at this is a support, and it's broken. But generally, like, this is the central line of decision for breakout or pivot in, and I can't commit to it. Given that we've reached up here and we've had a rejection, even though on the 1 minute that candle is closed bullish, can't commit to it because it feels like this was the resistance line here, the 1953 area, and it's broken, grabbed it, and it's taken from these orders. So we could still come up to this orders from where breaker block would hit. We've got a small amount of liquidity here on both pivots of this. It's on the 1 minute, so it's kind of high. I'm just not 100% confident with that, and you can see here that it's actually rejecting already off of this 1 minute breaker to head down. So we would be back again at break even instantly within 3 minutes of being in the trade, 5 minutes of being in the trade. And let's have a look at this 5 minute candle. So yeah, we would have been tapped in on this small bullish one, kind of selling off again and selling off again. We've got pools of liquidity on the pivots here, holding. Kind of shows that maybe it will dip down into this bit before it goes bullish again, if it's going to go bullish, and just hold this line of support. I'm just not 100% confident on it, and given that it was quite rushed because I literally just jumped straight into the charts now, I don't want to make presumptions without actually looking properly. Given how flat this range is overnight, I'm not confident that we've got a structure forming just yet. So I'll just hang out for a bit, I think. May well respect it and go, but then we can just check down onto the 1 minute, see if it breaks this and creates a new structure to the upside, or likewise to the downside. Yeah, just to recap from yesterday as well, actually. Wasn't streaming, but obviously trading still. I did catch a move here, entered on this area. Actually, it was on a 1 minute breaker. Entered onto this area and caught this top here. If I just roughly chuck it in, put it to what my targets are, you can see that 3-to-1 ratio there, hit target nicely and broke clean through it. Could have held it, obviously, look how much further it went. Initially I did move my take profit higher up, sort of aiming for these liquidity pivots, with a trailing stop, which would have been taken out by, let's just zoom in a bit. We've been taken out by this long wicked candle there, because my trailing stop was only 150 pips, pips or whatever it is, and I trade at a 2, so it's like 200. So it would have been a 1.5, and it would have taken it out anyway. So where my target was probably where I would have been tapped out, because if we follow that up, this would have been the highest point, stop loss would have been here, so it would have been there and thereabouts at the same sort of area. Anyway, either way, good trade, nice entry, clean hit on TP. We were done for the day. Didn't watch the rest of it. Could have re-entered. I got another signal here that I did sort of back test in the evening last night, and it would have paid dividends. Although this orange candle here pushed back quite deep with that wick, so it would have been quite close to actually stopping me out. This candle was the breaker after we claimed the liquidity, so the entry point would have been around here, and that pullback there with that wick was actually quite deep. I'm glad I didn't, in essence, because there's potential that I would have actually been stopped out there, and then I doubt I would have followed up with another long sort of chase the trade, because I don't do that anymore. One of those novice things that I used to do. If I'd lost one, I'd want to gain another one to break even again. We can see here on this 5 minute, it's actually creating a wick, and the candle is turning bullish with 20 seconds left, so maybe it is respecting that 5 minute breakers and ignoring this 1 minute. For sure. We'll see how it closes, because technically it is creating that downward structure, because it's respected this change of character breaker on the 1 minute, but on the 5 minutes this candle created this breaker 5 minute change of character. So we'll just see how it respects. If it closes that and we start making structure upwards, then we'll follow it up, maybe aim for longs. Now we'll just sit and wait. Okay, so that one did close bullish. It could be a respectful candle at that 5 minutes. This was our breaker candle, 805. Pushed up to a new high. Again, actually, like I said on that 1 minute, although it was a bullish rejection on that 1 minute, hit this liquidity pool quite comfortably, closed inside it, but then rejected off it. Closed inside that little liquidity pivot as well, but broke it. There's potential that this is still bullish, and it's just having the pullback from these liquidity collections to then hit that breaker from the origin, and then it will shoot up to this next level of liquidity. High chance that it could do that. I mean, we are getting some good rejections here, so it's effectively like this is some sort of order block on this pivot point of support. Let's just sit back. Sit back and see what happens. So the chotch, whatever you want to call it, you can see here that this is where it was. It didn't actually print a breaker block, even though it did create a chop. To me, that kind of says when the indicator doesn't print the actual block or the box, it's not like a confirmed, I guess you could call it. Like it alerts quite a lot of the time where it wouldn't actually draw the block, and then it just ignores them entirely. Didn't feel confident pacing so quickly without looking what the actual chart was doing, given that it was overnight. It's quite flat last night. See that potentially it was drawing down. We've broke, tapped a new high, we've come back and we're respecting it. The confluence does kind of say that it is going to be bullish. In a break, we're quite flat along the bottom. Got a flat support zone here, which is where it's respecting now. Bit of a support zone here. Kind of matches yesterday slightly. Got a top there, and bottoms, and then this is the bottoms here. There are support levels broken out. So bullish could be the way. Depends how deep this wants to come. It could come down into here. Kind of comes back into that downward pressure, downward resistance from overnight. It'll just come in, just pick up this little pocket, this pivot pocket of support, and then it can push and break out. And if we get to that point, then maybe we will get another bullish block, bullish breaker, and then we'll be away. A minute again, we're still sitting inside there. We feel on this 1 minute time frame. I think the analysis and feelings are exactly the same. Drawing down a little bit. Could draw that line. Top of them there, which goes to the top of here. Which means it could come further down. If we jump back to that 5 minutes, roughly by the time that comes down, that would be on that liquidity. Okay. Zoom in a little bit so you can see that a bit clearer. We've got the liquidity pivot here. That does push, respects that shock, change of character, whatever. Then it'll come back and it'll back. Fix this and go. Either way, I think I'm going to be waiting. Still just going to wait for structure. More feeling towards bullish. We'll see how it happens. Collecting, it might come down, respect this pivot and go. Please, so excuse me. You know, tickle on my nose is gone. Oh dear. Fine. News-wise today, where are we? For Thursday morning. So we're all out for the mornings. Things. We had unemployment change this morning for the Aussie dollar. Well past, that was 1:30 this morning for me, so it was like middle of the night. 1:30, we have got unemployment claims. Forecast is very close to the actual of last result. Previous. Yeah, so forecast is 210, actual was 29. I'm still expecting some volume to dive into the market at this point. And we've got some home sales and natural gas. There's a lot of USD later this evening. But Mr. Powell is speaking 5 o'clock. Okay. So we could see some volume going into the evening. So the American market this afternoon will be quite busy. So if we're okay, I think that's going to be breaking. Closed quite strongly into it, and we've had 3 good candles. Similar to here, we had 3 good candles pushing up. 2 with no bottom wicks on this 1 minute time frame, and it's going again. Lots of possibilities here. There's quite a few imbalances and stuff and voids that it needs to fill. Towards the top, they're more filled, to be fair. This big ball has pulled back and covered these 3. That's a strong reversal signal though. 3 candles growing in length with a wick at the top. It did pull down quite a bit further than this and created a change of character. So we've got to remember we are on the 1 minute, so it is very micro movements, grand scheme of things. Got 20 seconds on this 1 minute. We'll see if it respects this, whether it closes back inside. If it closes back inside, we know that we've definitely respected that for now. Even on the 5 minutes, we've got some strong bullish candles building, at least a ground of support. In the 5 minute, again, this one doesn't even have a bottom wick. I'd be hesitant to put a trade in now, like here, say, just in case this is actually just a pullback to pick up some sell orders and the pressure's bearish. By the time it taps back into here, it may go straight through. If I'm around here in the midpoint, but it respects this liquidity pivot as support, I'll get stopped out and then it will go, and then I'll feel sucky. So, face that. Don't really want to aim down here either as an entry point. There is potential that by the time it gets the momentum to come down this far, it's carrying momentum like these candles here. It just pushes and it keeps going, and we maybe get like a long wick that goes through the liquidity. Could stop us out. Just going to wait for that structure. I know I'm repeating myself, but just thinking out loud. That was a good close. Was a good bullish close. I think we've cleared this. Loading? No? Okay, yeah. Oh no, we haven't cleared it just yet. So we've wicked to the very top, but not cleared it. Not closed through it. Still feels bullish though. There you go. Interesting. Well, that just closed sharply back down. It jumped up, broke, sort of cleared the bearish breaker. Potential we could just dip back down to this area here. In here, because this is almost like a pseudo order block. Like that, did it? We got some volume at 10 o'clock. Wasn't anything happening, was there? No, so there's nothing in out. Maybe people are just putting some orders in. While respecting that 5 minute breaker. Nice and comfortably. If I'd been aggressive and entered as soon as I looked at it. Coming up to a 1-to-1, so that's not too bad. And it would be forcing to hit TP, we would have to pretty much be making equal highs. In fact, by the time we got to that point, we would probably be making higher highs up at this 566 liquidity. You can't really see that on your screen. Can't make it much bigger on mine because it's scale wise it's too much for the candles. Clouds the vision. Yeah, fair enough. 1 minute is in line with that 5 minute. Potentially, if it closes above this line of candles here, we might get a little 1 minute breaker entry. We've got a support line here. Is the resistance here. I feel like we need that break. Create this back again as support. So we would enter here. Target entry, good for liquidity on the 1 minute, good for the liquidity, pivot liquidity on the 5 minute. Looks like it's going to do it, to be fair. I think we're going to miss this initial, we'll break, find resistance potentially at the top of here, or as if this was an order collection, pull back, breaker here. And we can push and aim up to there. We'll see, because if it keeps this as resistance, we know that we're doing the right thing by waiting. So I'll leave that sitting there just for the minute. Obviously we're not in or aiming. We haven't got any trades that are sitting there waiting to be tapped in. It's just suggestive. Entry point. It depends where the breaker block forms, if at all. Move that over off screen for just so we can see the clear up. Central to, okay, so that is, we're actually at that support. We're below it, but we're actually at that support here. There are quite a few, like I say, I just think it's that central line of movement where you get a bit of sideways ranging before it makes its decision, so it's got to break and pull back to it to continue. I feel like we're back to that point. This bit of sort of sideways range action, as short as it was above that, but still within these higher pivots of resistance. Kind of expecting a surge one way or the other. Like once it breaks past this point, you get some bigger candles. Kind of go back up to a certain point. Could miss it entirely. Why this would have been a better entry, but I don't think it was worth the risk. Jumping in on that as soon as I got on the charts would have been too much of a gamble. Leave that box there for the time being. Last 5 seconds on that 1 minute candle. Did hop up and create that wick, but still closed bullish. Like we're respecting that. Mind. Either way, I'm happy just in. Last minute for this 5 minute candle. Excuse me, definitely a little bit of a wicky area. Still forming that. That's what makes me feel like we're going to see a big candle just to push through all of these wicks, bang, straight through, or to the downside. We are just hanging out at the moment. All right. That's what I forgot to mention actually from the other day. What day was it? Yeah, Tuesday. We had here, I believe, we had like a breaker block on the 1 minute. There was 2 of them. Had like a couple here. Had entry sitting and waiting. The gold there. It's literally like this. I'll zoom in a sec so you can see clearer. So this is where our entry was, and I was talking during the stream about moving it lower, cover off this if this was like an order block. Moving it lower because I felt like if it shot down it would come to here. See, I closed the trade, so it was irrelevant in that sense, but just for clarity, I was right, which is nice to know as always. But even if I'd left the trade open, we would have hit target. The only thing that got me is that the wick was really close to our stop loss. So it actually didn't stop us out on here, and obviously this is accurate to the broker that I use, so we wouldn't have been stopped out. But the only thing that makes me feel like it's a possibility are spreads. Although this shows accurate spreads and stuff, there's just something that says that maybe that would have been a loss. Would have been bloody scary as well if it got to 130 and it gapped like that and shot all the way down. It sort of wicked us in and hung around in this area for a while. Then towards the end of the 5 minutes, sort of tapped it back down and come back up, and then it kept going up. So we would have got a win out of it. But then that's also in terms of what I was saying about playing it safe, reservations and stuff like that. If I'd actually bumped up to try and catch that more aggressive 1 minute breaker block, we would have just been literally into a trade and out of a trade pretty quickly. So yeah, that's always a sort of nice thing to know, that getting things on the right lines. Skip over. Okay, so we're still holding bearish on that. So if this change of character in this orange candle here was correct, effectively the breaker, it's kind of this candle, I suppose, or this here maybe. Either way, we've utilized this as a resistance currently. Still happy just to hold. I feel like this would potentially become a breaker block. Now we're creating this like top here. We come back up and then break through it. We've got structural line. Pretty on the stretching and the aching. Starting to see some bigger candles. Partly what I expected to happen, so good. Also, if this respects that and breaks through here, what I said about this being a potential sort of minor order block, accurate. But the reason I use the word minor is because I just don't feel confident that that necessarily is. Really? Candles are starting to dance up and down rather than just sort of simmering along. have just a quick look. We've got 5 minutes to 10:30, so let's just have a quick look how these half-hour candles are behaving. So this was the one that tapped that liquidity and rejected, well, that pivot point. Fell short of this one, but this was the liquidity pivot on here. Broke through but respected, then came back down and broke deeper under this bar. Like overall, kind of going up. Take from here, we are pushing up. Pushing up, stagnating, come down, respect that support of the up direction, and then go new higher highs up here. Volume wise, these are very low pivots for half an hour. Like 4.5 on that one, 4 like thousands, so 26, 17, and then only like 852. So they do get weaker, and then it breaks. So there's possibility. Sounds a little bit out there, but this does remain bullish, become a bit of a safe haven. I feel like we would just scoop all of these pivots up and make it back up to somewhere like here, the 2020 mark, because we are gaining. Like we've been going up on that daily. We literally hit that low, hit that breaker point. We've just been bullish. That was the Friday. That was a crazy day. That was. So yeah, 2 seconds, take a call. Okay, sorry about that. But I just want to say I'm not actually in this trade. I just didn't feel strongly enough about the bearish breaker on the 1 minute. Just given how it's still on this 5 minute bullish. Although it respected this as a sort of resistance and it's bounced back down and stuff, I still feel like, it's neither here nor there. It's in a funk, if you like. It's between this high bit and this low bit. So the same as I'd wait for this to break out here for a long to get structure, I'd expect the same here. I'd want this potentially broken. I'm not actually in this trade. I was just marking it up because we got a bearish breaker at this point and where it came down, because it respected these lows. That's why I was looking while I was on the phone as well. I was looking at this sort of bottom resistance line. You can see that it's bounced, respected like as a support and a resistance, because it hadn't broke clean through it. And again, the 5 minute hadn't broke clean through it. I didn't feel confident about putting that trade in, so I didn't. Obviously, it was more just a mock-up, the same as this was, just to see how it would react to that point if it came back. And as you can see, it reacted by just smashing clean straight through it again. That kind of, I mean, I know that again, could have put my 5 minute in here, had an entry point here, and we'd be pushing back up to this level, because I still feel bullish about the market potentially, but I can't confirm that that's how I feel until I've actually had the break or the structure. But yeah, I'll delete that because I'm not actually in a trade. Might scoot this one over a little bit more, but I mean it could just be pushing up here, just picking up some orders that were left here, or hitting this as resistance to then break down again. Like there's no real certainty or direction, so I'm not going to chase the trade. It could just carry on, it could just smash clean through it, and then you'd be like, well, you silly Billy, you should have entered here still. But kind of been tapped a couple of times now. It's broken through and it's on that level, so I'll leave it as it is. Also just realised that I'm not eating anything. Suddenly become very hungry. Oh mate, look how close that would have been. I'd caught that this morning at 8:05. 10 past 8 was when I would have actually had this candle close. If I'd been aggressive and entered straight away, I'd have literally just caught the top with the way that I set my risk reward. I just thought I'd check it just to see if I'd be sitting here now in like no profit and very close to topping out, but it did actually top out. It wasn't very close to it. I've noticed that on the daily, this high, very close to the actual yesterday's daily high of here. There actually, isn't it? Try that again, shall we? Let's look. Okay, yeah. If you zoom out, doesn't it? So that's yesterday's high. Okay, so it is a fair distance away from it. Just obviously on the daily, it doesn't look as far. Why I thought it was this one. That was yesterday's high. Effectively, it'll be closed. Fine, there we go. So that's here. 10 o'clock and then jumps to 11 here. So we closed here. We've created a top wick up to this point on the daily, and we've come back down, and we're about really close to our open point, actually. So there is. Let me just go to the daily, and I'll show you what I mean. Well, we're miles away from it when I zoom in. That's a bit stupid, isn't it? How did I not realise that earlier? Oh, how do I always manage to drag that? Like, that's tiny to get hold of. Yeah, so I think I was looking at this liquidity, the pivot, how it respected it and closed below it. There's a chance that we're just popping back up to this pivot point. It was this high. That's what I was looking at. This high. We've reached it, and then we're selling off. We could be selling off back down to here. Make that structure. I don't know. We could be just having a shallow day, like we get at the top of the turnaround, and it turns around to be a big move. I was thinking more of a sell-off just here to then carry on bullish up into this area, what I was talking about earlier, like the 2020 area. So it's all out there, so it breaks that breaker block. Yeah. Don't rightly know. Particularly here at this point. Might go grab something to eat while we're sitting here in nothing happening mode. Potential we could end up doing this all the way to 1:30 because of the indecision of direction. That unemployment's definitely going to make the decision of a move for us, at least I'd expect. The high chance that it's going to be like good for the dollar, bring gold back down to this potential trend for the last couple of days. Then it correct and push up. Again, there's too many possibilities. If it pulls back to this trend, actually, it's kind of what I was just saying on the daily, how it would respect that. I'm repeating myself without realising, but on different time scales, which is, I suppose, a good thing in the sense that I'm consistent. And grab a bite to eat.
the stars. Took a shot in the dark, pierced my heart with your arrow. Never fallen so hard. Your beauty is art. Promise me you won't let go. I love you like every breath that I take is the last one. I'd spend forever with you, even if I died. I would stay close to you, even in the afterlife, even in the even in the afterlife, even in the even in the afterlife. I always want you by my side, like where the ocean meets the sky. Even in the afterlife, I'll always be right by your side. I'm putting in the overtime. Even in the after, even in the after, even in the after, even in the afterlife, even in the after. Breathing you in, and I don't regret that my heart's beating for you. We're magnetic souls, and I feel the pull. I'd go anywhere with you. I love you like every breath that I take is the last one. I'd spend forever with you, even if I died. I would stay close to you, even in the afterlife, even in the after, even in the afterlife, even in the after, even in the afterlife. I
Okay, so I was watching as we were going, and I did see that this was pushing up. On the 1 minute, we did get a little break. And the 5 minute did actually, this candle here, did actually print a change of character. So, I'm going to go in. Might bring that down. Just to go there. So, entry price is 1949. 0.6. $47.61 at see what happens to that. Kind of risky, given that it's found that resistance there. But I feel like we've respected this support enough. We did actually, funnily enough, if I go back to that 5 minute, exactly. Look at that's not bad. Able to see that, spot that. I'm gonna remove my box for now. Just hang out. What are we on? We're on 5 minutes. So that's fine. Yeah. Target just below that pivot. Okay. I'm not sure why I'm agreeing with a bullish one. Didn't show up necessarily. Did on the 1 minute. Do feel that, yeah, it may never come back until it comes back to go through it, just because it's checked it pretty much instantly. 55, so the 5 minute candle stopped here. New one started, it came back and it went. So we've got that bottom wick of that 5 minute candle here. And then it was, I think, the close of 59. It was the close of this one here that created that 5 minute breaker. 5 minute change of character. Also, we'll just hang out on here for a minute. It may only just tap to here. It may push a bit deeper. I'm not sure really. Just trying to cover this stop loss just a little bit in case it comes down to this sort of support zone here or here or here. Treats this like an order block. Or this one where the wicks are around this area. Still just in a little bit of safekeeping. Let's see. On the start of a new hour as well, actually. So, okay. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, leave the hat off. It's getting hot. So. You know what? I'm going comfy chair already. There we go. Oh, oh, it is on. Probably because I just turned it too far away from me. Wanted to check that it was actually picking me up. That's quite good that it didn't. Maybe I'll leave it there. It's a little bit right in the way of my screen, but I guess I could sit it there. It's not going to work. Can't reach the mouse on the desk. Where's that on the 1 minute? Just tapping that. If we'd been aggressive, we probably would have been put into that. Concerned about my stop loss. I think that's that entry missed. And it's quite a flat 5 minute candle though. I feel like that's taken any particular orders that were here that broke that character. Structure break. Let's pick them up. Well, let's just see what happens. Nearly there. Ah, it does change. Right, yeah. Okay, I'm just looking at the banner at the bottom. Thought it had changed because when I enter into a trade, obviously the bit of this. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to. Being in a trade, it just doesn't show the right information. There's quite a bit of lag on that stream. Hey, we finding that support? Oh, do mate, why always grabbing these? Broke that bullish though, which I thought we might have with that big candle. Yeah, I don't know how to select. Well, I have selected a certain part of a window. I was just thinking about the banner at the bottom. I'll have to just not in a trade have it on, I suppose. When I am in a trade, obviously it moves the values of what I've got down. Few seconds.
too late. I saw what you did. Don't know why I stayed, but I know now I regret it. You hold me down so you can rise up. I just wonder how I can ever get up. Please, got stuck in your mind. Why don't you believe that all of this There's a reason she's alone. You can't pin her down because no one needs her home. I need her around. She says there's beauty in her nails, chip in the sky. So don't be sad because I'm wrong. It keeps me alive. To impress her, it's too damn hard. To stay loyal without
Right, you are. Back in the room. So, where are we? What are we doing? Obviously in profit. We got a nice little 1 minute breaker there, which was above our entry. Which is quite good. We needed that. But we've just stagnated a little bit here. I'm glad that it's broke to the upside. Although I was just checking that the top of this here is kind of at the top of this here. The top wick of is like here in this sort of consolidation area. So we're sort of fighting that range. We've tapped it, entered into our trades, and then we're coming into it to break straight through it and push up, and we should accelerate out. We could chase all the way up to there. Might mark that actually. We'll see how similar that is onto the 5 minutes. We're just waiting for it to break out that box. I'm going to leave that box drawn in for a minute actually. Okay, so we're confirming that 5 minute breaker as well here. Is good. Gee, well no, we've still got 3 minutes yet, so we might not actually confirm that 5 minute breaker. Alright, that's up to there, isn't it? So that's kind of floating in the middle. In the 1 minute, so that's probably one of these ones here, isn't it? But we've got reassurance potentially. We've got some pivot to grab pivot minutes, and then the top pivot there. But we need to create this 5 minute breaker. We need to break through this, close above it, and we can just drive. The reason I put this white line in as well is because I was checking against this breaker. If we was to enter literally right at the very top of it, our sort of 2 pip stop would, or 200, whatever it is, I don't care. Our stop loss will is pretty much there, so I might move the stop loss up to there. So this would have, as if this was our entry, and then I would move my take profit up to there. I'm sort of just following the strategy rather than entering in and having 2 trades open. I'd only have the 1 trade open still, but I would just adjust the parameters of it potentially. It puts that right in that liquidity, that pivot. But we'll see. If we get to that point, I might sort of wipe over far away from the keyboard. Oh, sorry if you heard that. I'm literally just elbow because I got the microphone so close to everything. The way I'm sitting, it probably sounds like I'm shouting. Yeah, I might just ride it like that. So if this closes in a minute, firmed breaker, might adjust to these parameters on my trades. It feels slightly risky because the stop loss is still in negative, which we don't necessarily want. I might just bring it to break even. Actually, I could bring it to break even because it'd have to delete this bullish breaker block to get down to that point. I might just go break even and then 57.07 as the target. See what happens. We've got 20 seconds left on it. Still holding out above. 1 minute wise. We broke that box. Okay, there you go. There's the alert, so it's confirmed. Right, let's do it then. I don't know. Is it too soon? Is it too soon? Is it too soon? I mean, where are we? Are we at 1-to-1 yet? Not quite. Not quite 1-to-1 yet. Yeah. Because if what we're on 1 minute time frame, if we pull back to this 1 minute breaker here to then drive rather than, let me just hold on. Put a box on that one. Then go to 5. Yeah, I feel like if I put this at like a break entry, break even, what is going on? The chance of this coming back to continue, we've got a 5 minute bullish there. This is the 1 minute level. They are quite close to each other, so we could sort of come down and create a wick into this, then close back up into this to then carry on bullish. Maybe I'll leave it I'll leave it for a minute more. I'm going to move that over because technically we would not be in the trade at this point. I don't really want to record that as in the trade. Move that over 1. Because this is an aggressive entry, being right on top of it here. And this 5 minute breaker, especially given that there is a 1 minute breaker here. That could pull this deep to then carry on. But I'm just feel like it's broken this sort of area. It's sort of it came into it here, like I just said, come down, pushed, hit the top of it, and it's broken out. That's potentially just testing it again to then go. It's how far down does it come to then go. Too early to move to a break even. Close to the structure. Is it worth the risk? Because if it breaks the structure, you're into a loss. What if we say we were to put it halfway into the 5? Say here, to be reserved. It covers that 1 minute breaker securely within our stop loss. So we could move our stop loss to here, our current live stop loss. 48.72. Maybe just to respect these support lines. What's that at? 48.50? Potentially, and it just reduces the risk of. We go 48.50. Oh, and then that's adjusted a bit better actually. 56.73. So, stop loss. Stop loss is 48.5. 670. The Why is the keyboard not working? Oh my god, please, come on now. Wireless, and I'm pretty sure the batteries are fine on it. Okay, yeah. Okay. Just a bit apprehensive about changing it too soon. I'd at least like sort of a 1-to-1 purity. We'll see. See how it rides. Just tapping the top of this. Oh, fake. Tapping the top of this orange candle really effectively is the bottom of that range that I'm marking out on that 1 minute. Midpoint bottom. So it can just respect that and then go up and it can break back out again. Which at the same time is where this breaker is, so it can respect the breaker and go back out again. See, market does what it wants. Get the window open. Get the curtains open. Sun's cracking through. I'm going to catch a bit of that warmth. We've had a bit of a chilly start to the day. What have we got going on here then? No. Fix this 5-minute breaker, or are we going to go through it? I'm trying to question whether if it goes through it and it clears it, wait for it to come to the 1 minute and respect it, or do we close the trade for safekeeping? Take a minor win. I need some sunglasses. I've opened that curtain, I can't see anything. But... check that hourly, seeing as we're just into that new 1 hour. Didn't make much headway, did it? Got a good hourly candle there, like a long wick at the bottom, really wanting to push bullish. It just couldn't hold that buying pressure at this point. Check a bit historically on that. I'm going to pull that curtain again. Back on the rail. Right. What have I done? I've just put it... I opened the curtain just as the sun's right in the middle of the window, so between the curtains, but I've opened the other one now. I've still got a bit this side. Right, anyway, what was I going to look at here? So we've got like kind of the top where we were there. In fact, that's where I'm kind of got that white box drawn. It's actually that. Enough. Got that previous top here. We broke that long rejection there. We broke that yesterday. Closed right on it actually, pretty much. Pushed up to there obviously, but rejected and closed onto this one. How high did we go? That one. To be fair, if it goes bullish, it's like a lot of all of this sort of downward pressure at this point has all been taken up, and then this last candle that never really got checked again was checked here, and it did check back down for the end of the day. Got a little bit of noise here, a little bit of noise. Aiming to this point at the moment. There is some support level here, a little bit on here for where my target is. that finding resistance. Well, we've got half an hour. Yeah, 12:12. So we've probably got about half an hour or so until some volume starts kicking in. No, the forecast is so close to the actual of last time with the employment claims. Last time 209, this time forecast 210. Would create obviously a big reaction nonetheless. Nonetheless or regardless, I don't know, one of those words. Oh, I think that wind has just caught the window. Close that one. Starting to see some more of that volume, some more of that volatility kicking in. Come back to this point again. I think I'm just going to move all my stops pretty much entry. It makes it down to this minute breaker and respects it. Brilliant. We'll see. This is a support level. Right on this breaker as well as a support level. And we do have potential buy order sitting there from that breakout on that 1 minute. Get rid of that. It would say it's going to be a loss otherwise, wouldn't it? Read the arrow. Be nice if this one did just sort of drive up added volume and interest in the market, just push it bullish. Doesn't look like it wants to do that, does it? It's giving me like bearish vibes until it picks up on a big order block or takes a lot of orders, like buy orders. Almost effectively it's going to push down and just take orders, all that are all sitting here from where this Like there's a big gap there. It's a big push. Doing it again. Long wick, bearish. 2 minutes left on this candle, so it could just be creating a bottom wick, but I feel like it spent so long trying to push up that it's going to close pushing down. See, still got 2 minutes on it. High chance that I'm going to close it early. Definitely, and like not be part of that unemployment claim news. We're secure enough and we're like up here into profit. Potential that I'll stop loss will just, I'll move it somewhere, I don't know where, depending on structure. But we need to be up here. Like it's 20 past 12, so within an hour to be up that high. It's doable, but to me, this pressure says no. It's not forming a steady pivot. Push up to push up. If anything, this here, this candle is the candle that makes that decision. Can you hear me all right? Yeah, I think so. Cool. Just talking away. Like, God's sake, man, this mouse and clicking. That's the decision maker. If anything, actually, I'll tell you what. Could treat that from this point. Which again, similar thing. That 1 minute breaker is the decision maker. By the time we come down into this, I'd have been out anyway at break even. 2 seconds, yeah, so it has built down that way. Ruining those aspirations of bullish. Not respecting that 1 minute. Too busy. Here it's quite clean the way that it's turned and come down, quite clean the way it's turned and come down. Whereas here it's sort of not as clean. And it's not as clean because it's in this busy area. Actually, it's broken below that, hasn't it? Looked at it and then closed below it. Oh, yeah. Bloody microphone. In the way of where I'm looking. Okay. So that's that. Tapped and stopped. Now it will reverse and drive to the moon. isn't it? I was bloody joking. That better not be reversing. Technically, it didn't actually hit my entry. My break even was just above my entry mark. Is it actually going to do it? Is it actually going to do it? Going to respect that little trend line that I've just drawn in. Get to the bottom of this breaker and respect that, and then there's a bearish one there on the 1 minute. Let's just watch it. Suck on some sour lemons, pull some funny faces, and rub salt in the wound. Like, yeah, even on the half-hour timeline, like it doesn't want to go anywhere. Oh, let's push it. It just doesn't want to go anywhere. It's rejected massively. It can't push up because there's not enough buy orders in there. It's probably all of this here has taken all of those orders from both directions potentially. Yeah, no. Yeah, so fine. There's 10 seconds left on this half-an-hour candle. Nothing amazing is going to happen that's going to make it change particularly. It went up and it came down like what it did. That 1 minute break has been removed. So many drawings, can't see it, but let's just clear that. It literally came to my entry point. I think when I was reading it on the 5 minute, reading like this bit as bearish, I should have just closed knowing the better, but I have to have faith in that some sort of strategy. Yeah, I did, I suppose, didn't I? Because I had a second bullish breaker that if it had closed below and removed, I would close the trade. So it is accurate. It is to what I said I would do. Held on a little longer than I needed to, I suppose. Doesn't matter. Small as the profit was, it was a profit, not a loss. But I'd class it as a break even though. Now I'm going to respect this and sell off. I don't know, there's a lot of noise in this area again, but potentially it will just break clean through it, and now we'll get a drive to a higher high up here somewhere where this resistance is likely. Oh, would you look at that? I've literally just respected that trend line that I've drawn in, and then it's going straight back up to where we were. The joys of trading. The thing is, we could actually, on the hourly candle, where it is now is actually turning bullish. Okay, see. It could just be matching these long wicks and then making that higher. Although this seems to be a strong resistance, because each time it gets there, it does just drop off. And even if it's wicked through, it's fallen. Like open and close on the hourlies can't break this. Last hour it actually did break it. Whatever, Trevor. But yeah, we're like well in the trade. We could have just that. In 5 minutes, like one candle. It's not even been, yeah, 5 minutes is just about to close. In 5 minutes, we literally went from our entry point, the most profit we'd got. We'd sat in that for about 20 minutes. Not going that. What was this entry? 11. Hour and a half. Oh, we're on a 5 minute. I thought they were 1 minute candles. What a silly really. Literally about an hour and 20 minutes to sit there. Then in less than 10 minutes we went straight back up to the maximum profit we were at. Should have held it. I had that, you know, I could see that there was the structure. I said this one was it, but it was just this last candle. I don't like playing. I don't like playing it too close to the wire sometimes. With some structures that were getting broken, so it was a bit of a deeper push. So technically, it did respect it. I'll see what I can do now. I'll do. I wonder. I'm just gonna have a little fiddle with my microphone. Let me mute it actually, because that's gonna sound horrible for you. Right. Yeah. Oh, you can't. Yeah. Because you can't really hear. Pick up. How's that? Seems to be a bit better actually. Seems a bit weird having it right in front of my eyes though. Even from the camera, I'm like hiding behind it. Hey, so that kind of the same, but it's hanging down rather than standing up off the end of the bar. Not as in the way, I don't think. Yeah. Whatever. Microphone works. Yeah, I do think it is not being above it, it's below it. Quite a bit. It's all in the same place, isn't it, technically, because the microphone and the shock absorber thing that it's on. What I end up looking through, but whatever. Leave it as it is. I'll watch this back and we'll see if it changes. What we're at, just short, nearly 3 hours. I'll skip to 3 hours as well. We'll see if the sound quality changed after I was faffing with it. I mean, I wouldn't have thought so because it's not turned off or anything. Yeah, I was wrong earlier as well when I was talking about getting the big candle to break through. I mean, we haven't broke through yet. Our entry, you could say, was where I was saying that one. Got that breakout and pull back. Got our entry. Actually, just this little, I suppose you can call it a consolidation. Just a consolidation bit here that runs through it all. It's like that middle level of indecision, really. Consolidation. Couldn't make it through it strongly in a strong way, and then it's braced again. Given the pressure pushing up, maybe this is it and it will break, and we missed the opportunity. We was just a bit early. Don't know. But that bearish one, this last orange candle, has not pushed on here. Pushed very strong. Got a wick at the bottom. Candle clearly wants to be more bullish, but it's still got 3 minutes left on it. There seems to be some sort of resistance. Something holding it up. Go with it's the news. Suddenly make its decision. Smash up. Spike up to there. Grab all of that from the high. Like UK session. Then down it goes. Here. And it will settle around here for the and just sort of go along. You know what? I think I'm going to just finish the stream up here. Got in a trade. I'm not going to sit here for 45 minutes, nothing to happen. And even if I get a structure suddenly, say in the next few candles it pushes up and I get a bullish break, I wouldn't trust it because it would be too close to the volatility of the news, where the breaker blocks aren't on everyday respect, like it's spikes through everywhere. So I wouldn't even put a trade to sit there waiting for entry. I've got an audience watching either. Be part of the news with me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, why not? We done 3 hours. Let's call it a day. Not waiting for the news on this one, I'm afraid, but got a trade. Full list of wins, so just class it as a break even, but we've got a trade. Yeah, lunch, then I'll come back in to the market. So I won't be streaming again today. And like I said, yeah, that's right. Yeah, like I said, that's for next week. Streaming will possibly be a bit sporadic, so there might be no stream on Monday, or if there is, it'll be a very short stream. Most likely no stream. Tuesday should be fine. I don't know. Yeah, it won't be an early stream though. So just Monday and Tuesday might be a little bit out of whack. But then we could get a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday stream in. So we'll have to just turn up and see. I'll check back on the YouTube afterwards to see if there's a latest live stream on there. Oh, would you look at that? It's going. Is it going to break it though? We'll give this candle a close and then we'll finish the stream. But yeah, next time I see you, Monday or Tuesday. Two and a half minutes.
Faces and envy. Faces and envy.
Alright then. That's respect, isn't it? Oh, yeah, excuse me for yawning. I'm sorry about that. Doesn't appear to be closing in any strength of a bullish nature. 1 hour candles, they're topping out, they're not doing anything. Wicking. You'd think all of this collection here pushing up is going to be termed bullish. I don't know, maybe for the last 10 minutes it goes on a charge. Minute candles, and just very much in a box. Very much in a box. Up, down, up, down, up. Not actually making any real progress. Still sits with even these two here, massive long wicks. Everything came up there this morning. Isn't really sitting. But if it breaks, it's going to go because there's nothing sitting in it. So that's that candle closed. That'll do me. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to just hang about for the news and stuff like that. That's only 40 minutes away, but I'm not in the trade. I'm not looking for it. The structure's not really there for me. See that we're coming up into this wedge here. Falls right in time with it to just suddenly be down, up. Not going to take a risk of sitting on a trade, waiting for a trade. So that's that. Appreciate you being here if you ever did turn up. Right. Hopefully see you, well, it will be Monday or Tuesday. If not Wednesday.